All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be checking out some green-yellow law action in the OP11 format. That's right. In fact, we've got quite a few games to go over in today's video. We got 7 games, guys. 7 games to go over in today's video. We've got 5 out of the 6 OP11 leaders, everyone but Green Yellow Shirahoshi. And then we have 2 games that I think are going to be very relevant going into OP10, especially 10.5 or 10.7, whatever they're considering EB02's Green Purple Luffy. We have Luffy and Blackbeard as the extra 2 matchups. So with that in mind, we will have a list that is OP11 based. However, let me say this, guys. The only new card we're using at all is the new Bege that comes out in OP11. We'll talk about that more as we get to the deck list. So let's get into this video, guys. Let me break it out for you, lay it out for you. First things first, we're going to check out the deck list. When we're in that portion, we will head over to gumgum.gg, and I will show you the list that I got some ideas for, or that I got some ideas from to kind of revise my list and turn it into what I saw over there, but still with my own revisions. We'll do that first. We'll check out the deck list and break it down. After that, we'll head over to the sim. We got 7 games to go over, guys. We have most of the new OP11 leaders, everyone but Shirahoshi, so 5 leaders from OP11, and then Green, Purple, Luffy, and Blackbeard. And then after that, we will check out the deck list one more time. I'll tell you guys my final thoughts on it and the direction I think we should go with it. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Okay, so with that in mind, I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that down in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below as well, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Now, one more thing I want to mention before we get into the video is we will be streaming tonight. So I'm putting this video out on a Tuesday, recording it and putting it out on a Tuesday. We stream now on the channel every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. Okay, so be sure to come by and check us out and hang out and have fun with us if you get a chance. This video is sponsored by Nin Garden. Their latest spring collection just dropped with 3 new designs, and to celebrate, they are running a spring sale. Buy one, get any classic mat 40% off with the code SPRING SALE. Plus, use NIN10 for an automatic 10% off at the checkout. You can stack this with my promo code, the VV Theory, for an additional 5% off, bringing you to a total of 15% total savings on top of the 40% off. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and break down the deck list for today's video. I'm going to talk about the leader real quick, and then we'll dive into this. So for the new players out there, for anyone who might not know what the leader does yet, it's a 5,000 power 4-life green-yellow leader, Heart Pirate, Supernova, and Dressrosa type, and it has Dawn ×1, activate main once per turn. If the total cost of your characters is 5 or more, you can return one of your characters to the hand and then reveal the top card of your life. And if that card is a Supernova type character with a cost of 5 or less, you can play it. So that allows us to do a lot of really crazy tricks with this deck, guys. So keep that in mind when you're looking at it. Now, diving into the actual deck list here, we've only made a few revisions for OP11, and one of them, and the main thing, we've only made 4, how do I say this? There's only one card that we're going to be adding to the deck as a 4 of from OP11. It is this Bege. Okay, this is a new card coming out in OP11. It is a blocker. It has once per turn. If you have a Supernova type character other than Capone Bege that would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may add that character to the top of your life cards face down instead. So they don't get rid of the card and they don't get rid of this blocker. Let me say it like this. Say you have a Cavendish on the board and your Bege, and they go to remove your Cavendish. Well, instead of the Cavendish getting removed in whatever way they chose or tried, it's going to go to the top of your life. Well, guess what that means? We just read what the leader does, right? Okay, attach a Dawn, we can pull it right out of our life and put it back into play. Or we can keep it in life. We just gained a life from that effect instead of losing a character. So, guys, this card is going to be absolutely incredible for OP11. Now, understand this. Everything else in the deck is going to be OP10 clear, good to go. Because at the time, I mentioned that because at the time you're recording this video, OP10 is coming out for us over here in the West this weekend for the pre-release, and then 1 week, after that, it'll be good to go. So we'll be able to completely build this deck outside of this Capone Bege. And in the meantime, what I recommend is using Rosinante in the place of this character, the two-cost green Rosinante. Let me bring that up right now so you guys have an idea what I'm talking about. This card right here. Just run this deck, this card in the deck for the time being over the Capone Bege as just pretty much a one-to-one replacement. It's just not quite as good though. It's not quite as good as what Bege is doing for us. Still incredible, but not quite the same. Now, with that in mind, what else? We have to go look at where I got the idea from for this list, because I made some slight modifications from my last list. We were running Raigo still, and we were still running the 5-cost blocker law that pulls back a character to play out of 3-cost or lower. I really wasn't feeling that card in this list in the very beginning of my playtesting, and people were like, "Okay, no, give it another chance." And I tried to give it a chance, and I still thought that the card was good in the list, but that there might be better options. Now, check this out, guys. On the first week of OP11 in the East, or one of the first weeks of it coming out, this was a list that popped up. It was just at a little 9-player tournament, guys. It was just a store battle. Notice at the top here, it's just a 9-player store battle, standard battle, whatever, tournament. Nothing too crazy there, but they came to the same conclusion that I did, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I do think if you play this deck for long enough, I don't think we really rely on that 5-cost 6K blocker law. In fact, let me say one more thing before we go back to the list here. I do like that they're running Scratchman Apu. That's another tech card we might want to really consider. It helps us tap down 2-cost or lower characters later in the game, pull it back to hand with the leader's effect. It's a 2K counter. There's a lot of stuff we could do there. We'll definitely keep that in mind going forward with the list. They're not running the Bartolomeo in this list, but they are running this is the only new card that they're running as well. Everything else will be available for us over here in the West on OP10 release. But other than that, the list looks very similar to mine. I got a lot of inspiration from this list because, like I said, you know, I was looking through and I was like, wow, this guy has a similar idea that I have, where it's like, I don't think we need this 5-cost blocker law. I just don't think we need it in the list. Now, I got the idea to go up 4 Tashigis from this list and the 4 Bege. I knew we were going to go up 4 Bege no matter what. This new Bege card is incredible. We already kind of talked about it, right? But they're going 4 Tashigis as well. I think I was only running 2 or 3, and then I started thinking, you know what? That's probably just a great idea, because it's yet another card we can play out early on for 3 Dawn to get a 3-cost character on the board for our leader's effect, and the fact that this is a 2-cost character on the next turn on a 5 Dawn turn, we can play out a 2-cost character, attach a Dawn to the leader, pull back the 2-cost character, play out a card from our life. It just has so much synergy, guys, and we'll talk about that more as we get into the video. But hear me out. I really like that they're up to 4 Tashigi, so I did take them up on that. The only thing I think we're really differing on in this list, our list is identical, except I don't run, so they run 12 2K counters. They're running 4 Bege, the 1-cost 2K counter Bege, 2 Apu, 2 X-Drake, and then 4 Tashigi. I'm basically cutting 2 of the 2K counters, going down to 10 2K counters, and I'm going up +2 of the Bartolomeo. I'm still a big fan of this card, guys. I'm sold on it. I've just had too much good synergy with it in the list, where I can just cheat this out with my Eustace Kid. I can throw it out early on as a 3-cost character on the board to have a higher cost board for my leader effect. And then if I can start activating cards like Jewelry Bonnie later in the game, or my Eustace Kid or something like that, whatever, being able to use this your turn once per turn effect. If a character is rested from your own effect, draw 1, trash 1, it just becomes a high utility card. In worst case scenario, it's a 3-cost blocker that, like I said, I could just throw out with Eustace Kid. So I'm still a big fan of this, but just know the only difference I have over the deck we just looked at is these two Bartolomeos become 2 of the 2K counter 1-cost Scratchman Apu. That's it. That's the only difference I believe between our 2 decks right now. But other than that, guys, the list is starting to run really smoothly, and after taking out the 5-cost law, I don't miss it at all. It was still a good card because it's just a high-value card, but I think this is a much more optimized list that's more focused on what we're trying to do. Very solid, very strong list here, and it's going to be completely usable on day 1 of OP10 if you trade out this Capone Bege for the 2-cost Rosinante, or some type of card of your choice. Maybe 2 2K counters in a Rosinante, something along those lines, whatever you want to do. But I would recommend just going 4 Rosinantes in the place of this for the time being. That's probably what I will be doing. Now, everything else is pretty much the same. I don't have to really mention too much here. We know what Cavendish does, Bonnie, the restand law, we're up to 4 of those, just like in the list we just saw. We've got the Searcher Bonnies here. We've got the Blocker. Everything else is pretty much identical to what we've already been running on the channel. I will have those videos linked in the channel description for you to check out at your own leisure. Now, let's do this, guys. Let's dive straight into the games for today's video. Okay, first up, we have a game versus Red Black Koby. Okay, now all of my games today will be from OP11. Okay, with the exception of OP11 meta for sure, and it'll be against all the new OP11 leaders outside of Shirahoshi, but we're also going to go against Green Purple Luffy and Blackbeard. Now, let's do this, guys. Let's get into it. First game up here is against Red Black Koby. Another thing that's very nice about this list, guys, is how low to the ground it is. I mean, look at this hand. This is a pretty average hand. The only bigger cards we can even draw, we're running 2 Eustace Kids and 4 of the 7-cost Trafalgar Law. Everything else is a 5-cost and lower character, so this is a pretty standard hand, and I love seeing this because we have a lot of options here. Okay, they play out their Searcher. I just want to make sure, yeah, speed's on 2x, volume's up. Here we go. We're going to play out Carmel. That's a 2-cost character, which is very important. You'll see why in a second. So we take that first hit very aggressively, and then we're going to be able to go to our 4-Dawn turn after they play out some blockers, or excuse me, another Searcher, and all that good stuff. So watch this, guys. We do want to get rid of that Prince Gruss. We're going to play out the X-Drake and then attack 6 into 2 here. This would take a 2K, 2K, 1K just to get out of that. Have been 3 cards, and then we're going to pull that card back. We reveal the top card of our life. So how did we pull the card back? We pulled that back with our leader effects because we have 5 or more cost of characters on the board. We had a 3-cost and a 2-cost. We pulled back the 2K counter, revealed the top card of our deck. It was a 7-cost Trafalgar Law, and we're going to pass the turn back now. The card's going to go back to the top of our life. Nothing changes there. And here we go. Their board is still very tiny. We don't have to worry about it right now. They're going to swing for 5. We are going to counter out of this one, it looks like, with yeah, with the Carmel. We have another Carmel in our hand. We might as well get rid of that. Nice 1K counter. They're going to use up Peacock here to swing, to give their brand new +1, attach a Dawn, swing 5. We're going to take that hit, and they're going to play out a 4-cost card. Let's see what they choose. It's a Borsalino. Okay, very nice. They're running Borsalino. Koby is still being figured out, guys. It's not fully figured out yet, but I do actually like Borsalino quite a bit. We're going to pull back the Carmel, looking at the top card of our life. It's a 1-cost Luffy, so we play out a 1-cost Luffy from our hand. We do some searching. We still have 2 life here. We're going to swing 7 into 3, and I'm just really hoping they can't deal with my Cavendish, because if they can't deal with Cavendish, we're about to be off to the races. And that's where that 2-cost card, hang on, pause 1 second, guys. That's where that new 2-cost Bege comes in really handy, because you know what we can do? Whenever we play out a Cavendish, what does Cavendish do? He stands up 2 Dawn. So we can play out with that 2 Dawn, the new Bege, anytime we have it in our hand, whenever we have that combo in our hand. Okay, they're going to play out Koby here. They can't attack into our Cavendish, so hey, looks good to us. We're going to have a pretty explosive turn right here, guys. Let's see what we choose to do. We have a lot of options. We're going to play out Trafalgar Law. We're going to put the Restand Law to the top of our life. We are going to now attack for 6 into their leader with our Cavendish. Standing 2 Dawn is active. We're now going to swing for 6 more with our leader. They took that last hit, by the way, guys. Now we're going to pull back the Searcher Luffy, use the Restand Law. We're going to swing in for 6 more. They'll probably use the Borsalino and a 1K here. I think that was very smart. But now we're going to lock down their Borsalino with our new 5 Dawn. Guys, that was a 7, 6, +4. That was, hang on, that was a 4, 7, 8, plus, that was a 12 Dawn turn, okay? That was a 12 Dawn turn on our turn 4. Okay, very, very powerful there. We got 3 attacks in, and we locked down their blocker for the turn. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and play out Doll with Gecko, Moria, Doll, and Brandy. They're going to do some fixing there. They're going to go -6 to our Cavendish. Yeah, that card's gone. I can't save that. He's out of here. Now they're going to swing 8 into the leader, and we're going to go ahead and take that, and we're down to 1 life. So this is a scary-ish position to be in, but at the same time, we're not really shaking in our boots just yet. It's not at that point, because we still have a very strong board, and we have a lot of options in our hand. We'll go 5 into 3. We went 6 into 4. We're going 9 into 6. They do not use the Doll blocker. I was very surprised about that. We're going to play out the Luffy. Very nice. And now we can play out Eustace Kid, guys. We can play that out. We got that right off the top. We also have some other options too. Looks like we're going to play that card out, and we're going to attach a Dawn to our leader. Watch this, guys. I think we're going to give a Dawn to the leader because we have 1 life still. We still have 1 life. So right here, hang on, what are we trying to do? I play that out over the Jory Bonnie, and now I'm going, oh, okay, pause. Hang on, we had a massive, massive play there, guys. Hang on, I almost missed that completely. Sometimes when I rewatch these replays, I don't see every card in my hand. Watch what we do here. We attach a Dawn to our leader. Well, oh no, how are we going to survive? Now they don't have to attack into our Eustace Kid. You have to have a Dawn attached to your Eustace Kid in order for them to attack. Okay, watch this. We're going to, hang on, did I hit play? There we go. We're going to pull back the, we're going to play the Bonnie over the Bonnie. That was hard to, that was annoying. But then we play this card out. Now we're going to be able to swing for 7 with the Trafalgar Law. That was a very, very big play there. How are they going to deal with this? They only have 2 relevant attacks for next turn. If they don't have enough power reduction, there's no way they're getting through, guys. There's just no way. We're going to swing in for 7 here. Let's see what they do. Remember, we do still have a blocker too. We were able to cheat that out with the Eustace Kid. Okay, we're going to break down this game more in a minute here. So they go ahead and get rid of my card with Honesty Impact. They probably could have done that in a slightly better way to get rid of my blocker and the Eustace Kid, but this ends up being the same effect. They're going to play out, okay, so we're not going to let them have the 9K even with the -6 from Doll. They're going to play the more defensive route, but I don't know if that's going to help or not, guys. I just simply don't think that's going to be able to help them here. Okay, here we go. I have a strong board. I play out a Monkey D. Luffy here. Looks like we might play out another one. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this because I have a lot of options. I think what I should do is play out another Luffy. Okay, we're going to play out the Bonnie here. Then we can swing in with the Cavendish. Remember, their Gecko Moria is not restanding here. We're going to attack in with the Cavendish there. I attach it on to my leader. I'm still learning these play lines, guys. Bear with me. We're still learning a lot of these play lines. We'll swing for 6. We'll swing for 6. We'll probably swing for 6 more, and then swing for 9. Okay, they give me a blocker. We'll swing for 9 more. Remember, they still have to... they can't use their Cavendish now, right? But we're going to play this out. It looks like, hang on, what are we going to do here? This is a little crazy. Okay, we're searching for counters. We're searching for blockers. We already had one, but now we have 2 different blockers. So we'll probably just play out the Capone Beige here, and then we'll probably just pass the turn. And yeah, and now they basically have to get through that Beige and still be able to get through the cards I have in my hand. They're going to swing 9 into the Beige. Okay, that card's gone. They're giving +1 to the Koby, and now I think they have to try to go for game. We're going to let every card go because they have to go for game here. We go 2K, 2K, 1K, 1K, and we still have 2 more 1Ks left, and that's going to be game. So real quick, guys, there was one massive turn here. Let's really break this turn down. So watch what happens here. We're going to go back to the very beginning of this turn. Okay, so remember, we don't have anything in hand. We don't have the 8 cost in hand. So we're going to go into their board first just to kind of see what they give us, what kind of information we can gather. We clear up their board super effectively here. This was really nice. And they save the blocker and the Gecko Moria, of course, because we can't attack into that. And we do a top 5 search with Luffy. There's a lot of searching in this deck, guys. We have a lot of searcher power and draw power. So we're going to grab the Eustace Kid. Now watch this. What would you do in this situation? There was an idea that I could actually play, attach a Dawn to my leader, right? Pull back the Luffy. That was the when I was you know, like commentating over the play, not remembering what I did. I can attach a Dawn to the Trafalgar Law, my leader, pull back the Luffy, and I don't care what's on top of my life. That part wouldn't matter. I would just leave the life there because then I could actually clear up a spot on the board and then tap the Eustace Kid sideways to play out a blocker. And at that point, I would have 1 life and I would have a blocker on the board, and he only has 2 attacks. So I would actually be feeling very safe with all the counter power in my hand, even though he doesn't have to attack into my Eustace Kid. That was one option. However, I think I found a slightly more optimal play here. What we end up doing is attaching a Dawn to my leader, and then before using the leader effect, I actually used the Eustace Kid, tapping it down using the activate main effects to play out the 3 cost Bonnie, setting my top life card to a Cavendish, which is going to allow me to stand 2 Dawn up and get the Dawn on my Eustace Kid as well, while having the blocker and everything that ended up happening. So just to show that one more time, this is how that looked. So watch this, guys. We attach a Dawn to the leader. Before we even have to worry about that, though, yep. Before we pull something back, we're going to tap this sideways and get down the blocker so we know what our top life card is going to be. It was only a 2-cost Beige, which wouldn't have been bad either, by the way. But now we get to do things totally differently and fully optimize that play. That was a good one there, and that was really a turning point in the game because now not only do I have a blocker, but they also have to get through an 8,000 power body. And if they don't get through that 8,000 power body, next turn is going to be absolutely terrible for my opponent, and then I start getting way too much advantage. And notice in my hand, guys, I still had another blocker and searcher power for days with the way this leader effect works once we have a full board. Okay, so that was the first game. That was against Red Black Koby. Next up, we have a game versus Blue Yellow Nami. Okay, let's go speed 2x. Here we go. And all right, let's see what ends up happening here. I think we would prefer going second with this deck, believe it or not, guys. But we got first this game. That's fine. We can be super aggressive here. So right here, we'll just face check for 5, see if they want to give us any cards from hand. Typically, they do want to do that. Let's see if they choose to take this. That would be very greedy if they take this, and they do, guys. They actually do decide to take it. We're going to play out the Caramel. We're going to draw a card. We're going to play out the Luffy. We're going to draw more cards. We're just fixing our hand like crazy right now. Seems good. Okay, next up, all right, they're on a 4-Dawn turn now. Let's see what they choose to do. And guys, next turn, we're going to start, trying to get cards from our life. We have a lot of options here. Let's see what happens, because we're going to be able to play out a Jory Bonnie and set Cavendish and just go absolutely crazy here. Watch this. All right, they're going to play out a Hiyori, setting their top life card. That allows them to draw a card with their Leader's Effect right away. Then they're going to use Perona to set their top 5 of their deck after that. And they're going to swing for 6. They had 1 Dawn left. That was a perfect synergy there. We're going to 2K counter out because Blue-Yellow Nami is a pretty defensive list. We got to be careful. Now watch this, guys. We're going to play out the Jory Bonnie. We're going to set the Cavendish to the top. We're going to pull back the Searcher Luffy, replaying Cavendish. Now we're going to replay the Luffy. We're going to grab a Restand Law. Then we're going to play out the Bege. And we've got a full board on turn 3, guys. We've got a full board of a 6K, a 4K, and a bunch of little searchers and blockers and things like that we can get later. And hey, that's why we played out that Bege first. I guess we technically should have swung for 6 first, but if we did that, hang on. Actually, let's talk about that. If we had swung first, then we don't get to do this play because he takes some of our cost off the board. So let's go back to the beginning of that play real quick. That's pretty important to explain why we had to do things in that sequencing. So watch this, guys. If we attach a Dawn here and we swing in for 6, if we swing in for 6 right now before we played out the Jory Bonnie and he gets that red rock, he's going to bottom deck one of our characters. That's why we had to do things in that order. Now watch what happens here. We end up putting the Cavendish on top, and then we're going to pull back this. But, you guys saw the rest of the play. Then we swing afterwards. Now, I will say this. Red Rock from the trigger can only bottom deck a 4 or less. But if it had been a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, that hits a 5 or less. So this person takes it in a very greedy way yet again, and they get rid of our... the only card they were able to get rid of that was effective, and it was the Bege. Next turn, they're going to play out Gum Gum Red Hawk, and they're going to pop our character. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. We're going to take this hit, I believe, and let's see what happens. Did we miss it? Someone got mad at me for one of my in one of my other videos. They said you always have to go back and recheck things because I watch in 2x speed. But hey, guys, I only have to do that every now and then. We did take that hit. Here we go. We're on a 7-Dawn turn. And we have a lot of options here. Let's see what we choose to do. We're going to play out the Bonnie. We get a restand Law. We're going to pull back a card from hand, from the field, our 1-cost Searcher. We're going to play out the Bonnie, locking down a Dawn. We're swinging 7 into 5. He's going to have to give me 2 cards here. He gives me a Sanji and something else. And a 2K counter. We'll take it every time. We're going to play out the Searcher here. We get another Cavendish. I guess we should have probably done that first, though. Then we could have set things a little bit differently because who cares that they're only on 7 Dawn this turn after hitting him like that, because they should be on 4. Yeah, they should be on 8 Dawn this turn, but they only have 7 to work with because of the Jory Bonnie's effect. That Jory Bonnie is very solid. Really, really solid. All right, we're staring at a full board. We don't care if we lose life, but we are going to use a blocker here to clear up more space on the board. We need to clear up space on the board for bigger, better characters. They have a full hand right now. Guys, they have a full hand. Let's see what they're able to do with it. They play out a Nami to set some cards here. Just waiting on them to see what they want to do with these cards. Remember, Nami, the 5-cost blocker, it is a draw 3 and then place 2 on the top or bottom of your deck. Okay, they set that up. Now we're going to set the top card of our life. Very nice. It's actually a Trafalgar Law. We're going to pull back the Searcher, play out the Cavendish, get more Dawn as active. And this board is disgusting. To put it frankly, now we're going to play out the 7-cost guy after playing out a 5-cost guy. And we're going to swing it for 7. We got a life card back. I think we set it to, let me see what it was. We set the card back to one of the 5-cost restand laws. Okay, so for next turn, if they're not able to bust through, we're going to be able to play out a restand Law and swing it with Cavendish and just do all kinds of craziness. So let's see what they choose to do here. They've got a very rough turn ahead of them here. They need to develop something big. They have to develop they not only do they need to develop something huge on the board, they have to deal with our board. We have two 4K blockers, two 6K bodies, and a 9K body. We'll give them a blocker to clear up space. They're going to trash our top life card with Eustace Kid. That was not bad at all. That was definitely a good play, but I don't know how well this is going to go for them. Just being completely honest, guys, we have a strong enough hand and a strong enough board. I don't think this is going to go very well for them, and we can lock down that Eustace Kid if we need to. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We're going to play out the Bonnie. We're going to rest it. Nice. We do find our Capone Beges there. Now we're going to swing for 7 into face with our Cavendish. Restanding 2 Dawn is active. It's like that was a free search, and now we can pull that card back and do other things with it, if we even choose to do that. Let's see what we choose to do. We swing for 7 more. This is going to get a card from their life. They get a Kikanojo. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. That Kikanojo is unfortunate. That's a very strong card for them in this situation. Let's see what we choose to do now. They do take that hit. They do have a blocker left, by the way, guys. We can't just swing all in here. They have a blocker left. So we're going to swing in for, or excuse me, we're going to attach it onto our leader, pulling back the Bonnie. We're going to replay the Bonnie, locking down the Beige, and then replace the Bonnie on our field with a Beige, the 1-cost searcher. And now we have 2 blockers. They only have, they do have 3 relevant attacks, to be fair, but we have 2 blockers, and we have a decent amount of counter power in hand. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9K counter in hand. I think we're fine. I think we're fine in this situation, but they're not. To be completely honest, they're really not fine. They don't have any way to draw cards this turn from their leader effects because we have no life. They're going to start off with a 7K attack. We're going to get a 2K, 1K out of the way right now in case they have some kind of trick they want to do. And, you know, we want to keep these blockers on the board. So now they can only get through 1 more time. Let's see what they choose to do. Okay, they're going to play out a Luffy. They're going to swing in for 8, and they have to bounce back my Beige. They have no other choice. They have to bounce back Beige, or we gain a life card. Okay, they bounce back the Beige. That was very nice. Now they get 1 Dawn on their leader, and they only have 1 Dawn left for the turn. So I'm doing a little bit of counting. Okay, well, I'm going to counter out of this because it's the biggest attack. And now they can swing for 6 and swing for 7. They're going to swing for 6. We'll get a 2K out right here. And then they're going to load up a Dawn on their Nami because they can't survive the crackback. It's going to be too much. Actually, they do just pass, but I think they probably should have tried to go for it because there's almost no way they can survive this. So we're going to, let's see what we choose to do here. It looks like we're going to try to do something with Bonnie first. This is always the tricky part. So this is always the tricky part, guys. I think I should have just played out a Capone Beige here and then gone from there. But I try to get the most value out of my Cavendish and Dawn as possible. And I have restand laws in my hand, and I really want to use those. But if I swing with Cavendish first without using any Dawn, I get 0 value. So what ends up happening is I think it's almost better to just stack everything on your Jewelry Bonnie and then swing in with it. And then play out the restand law, and then stand it up, and then you swing in with all your other stuff and get Dawn back with your Cavendish and do things from there. I don't know. It's a very tough situation, but I think it ends up being no way out of it for my opponent, and I think they're just staring at this like, okay, we can't survive anyway. Okay, so we're going to swing in for 7. Let's see what they choose to do. They're going to go ahead and counter out, and now we're going to restand it. We're going to swing in for 7 more. This is going to take another card from hand. Okay, then we're going to restand law, swing for 7 more. We're going to, just keep beating them down. And now we're going to swing in for, it's going to be 7, 7, 9. They have nothing left. Good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. Okay, that was, again, it's kind of tricky at the end when you're trying to fully optimize as much Dawn as possible that you can get from the turn with the Cavendish. But I will say this, swinging 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times is pretty good, right? Because remember, we had to swing with the Joy Bonnie once for 7, then the Cavendish for 7. We were able to restand it with Law to swing for 7, restand it again with Law for 7, and then swing for 7. We were going to swing with 7 with Leader, and then 9 with this guy. But once they had no blocker, no cards, we just swung for 9 with the big guy. GG to my opponent. Okay, next up we have a game versus Blurple Luffy. I know a lot of people were probably waiting for this matchup because this is a really, really, really tough matchup right now. But I think we can do it. We can swing wide enough with this deck, and we can fill the board out quickly enough. I think we can make it happen with this deck. And on top of that, we have a way to play cards from our life if they start going crazy with the 9-cost Lin. They're going to ramp it on with Jet Gatling with a Jet Gatling trigger. Seems good. And they're going to ramp more Dawn with the It's to Die For. And yeah, now it's time for us to start putting out cards. Okay, nice. We already had a Cavendish on top of life, but how are we supposed to know that? We'll pull back the 2K counter, play out the Cavendish. We're going to swing in for 6. Let's see what they get. They 2K counter out. We play out a Tashigi, and now our board is very safe. They're not messing with that. So now they can't mess with that Cavendish. They can't get a hold of that Cavendish now. That's what we like. That's what we want to see. They're going to swing it for 6. We're going to 2K counter out. They've got Rosinante down. They got 2 Dawn as active. Seems good. However, we do have some things we can do here. Let's go ahead and swing in for 6. We're going to so we swing in for 6 with the Cavendish. We're going to use the leader effect. Probably, let's see, they might have a trigger here. Nope, no trigger. Pull back the Caramel, playing out the Trafalgar Law, restanding the Cavendish. We're going to swing for 8, and that's it. Your turn. You're not getting to attack into my Cavendish. I'm not going to give them that opportunity. We could have, if we wanted to get an extra card out of hand, but I don't want them to have the opportunity to swing all out into my Cavendish. Okay, swinging into my face, I'm okay with that. We can take this hit. They're going to swing in for 9 here. We can also take that hit, and now he's going to swing in for 6. Right here, we probably should give him the blocker to clear up a spot on the board, but we'll give him a 2K counter. That's fine. Okay, what card do you want to push back to my life? Okay, Tashigi is probably a good decision, so they could try to deal with my Cavendish. You know, actually, that's probably all they... No, I think they could have pushed the blocker to life. I think pushing the blocker to life would have been a better call, to be honest, but... Oh, well, I don't think it matters at that point. Whatever the case is, here we go. We're going to be able to start really laying on some pressure on our opponent here. We can go for the board, or we could go for game. Yeah, that sounded crazy, right? That did sound crazy, but we can actually try to go for game in this situation. All right, what would you do? Before you see what I'm about to do, what would you do in this situation? We can easily eat this board up. Let me tell you that right now. We can easily eat up the board. We're going for face. We're going swing 8. They gear 2 to get out of it. We are going to now pull a card back. Let's see what we choose to do with that. We pull back the Trafalgar Law. Now we can swing for 8 more with Trafalgar Law. I'm making sure I do the math correctly. I'm also making sure that I have enough Dawn. Yeah, I was going to say I need to make sure to get rid of that card. The, what's his name? The Bon Cray, just in case. Now we're going to swing for 6 into face. They counter out aggressively, so now we can kind of change gears. We'll go 6 into 6 and then 9 or 10 into 6. We got to change gears on them there. Okay, because we got them down to 4 cards in hand and we saw a lot of defensive stuff used there, now we get to change gears. Okay, we poked in, we got to see what they did, so it's like, okay, since you did respect my attacks, now I'm going for your board. And we got to change gears on them very effectively. We still have 1 life, we have a blocker, we have other blockers in hand, and we have 1 more attack, so we should be just fine here. We're going to swing in for 10. Okay, they take it. We're going to play out the Capone Bege over the Searcher Luffy. We don't need that right now. And here we go. We've got 1 life and 2 blockers. And this is not the place you want to be. Look at our hand, by the way. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9K counter in hand. He's not getting these cards. He's not getting any card on the board. It's not happening unless it's a blocker that we choose to give him, obviously. Okay, they're on a 9 Dawn. Excuse me, I was going to say that's not right. They're on a 10 Dawn turn. They're going to swing 9 into 6. Here's a double 2K for you. And now 6 into 6. Again, I kind of like the idea of just like blocking out to clear up space on the board. But hey, that's fine. We've got full life. They're going to be able to push a card back. They have to push back the Bege. They can't push back any other character on the board. Or it would go to my life, and then I could get full value from it there. Okay, well now it's time to start getting aggressive. We're going to swing in for 6. They have 4 cards in hand and 1 life. We can do so much right here. It's going to be crazy. Watch this, guys. Let's see what we choose to do. We're going to play out this Caramel, I think, just to draw a card and be able to start swinging in with the Cavendish. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. We're going to play out the Bonnie here, not using it for anything other than that. See, there's another play we could have done. We'll talk about after this game. We're going to pull back the Cavendish. Again, we're at 2 life now, too. That's the other crazy part. And we have 2 blockers still. We're fine. Swinging for 6. They take it. Okay, that's not good. So that's not good. Play out the Restand Law. Swinging for 8 more. They give us a Gum Gum Giant. And now we're coming in for 14. Excuse me, 12. Can't do math. Okay, so I guess that ended up working out fine. But looking back at that play, let's see what other options we had. So swinging for 6 with the Trafalgar Law is fine there. However, I think we should have swung for 8. Hear me out. I think we should have swung for 8. Then we pull that card back to our hand with the leader effect. Excuse me, hang on. Then we have to, well, no, hang on. We do have to do it in that order. It is kind of tricky when you're trying to pull it back and like use it with the leader effect and everything. It doesn't always work out the exact way you want to. So yeah, we would pull it back then with the leader effect. 2 Dawn would come back as rested. Now we attach 2 Dawn to Cavendish to swing for 8 more, and that's going to stand 2 Dawn as active that we just used with, to pull back the Trafalgar Law. So that would put us at, let me see, 2, 4. Yeah, and then I think we would go to 7 Dawn after that interaction there. And then we could replay the Trafalgar Law, re-staying the Cavendish to swing for 8 more or 10 or whatever we wanted. Actually, I think 8 more would be fine. Then swing for with our leader and then swing with this. And I think that would have probably been about the same. Guys, I'm telling you, there are a lot of play lines. It gets very technical. It becomes very hard to play. But good game to my opponent there. That was a rough one. We swing wide enough with this deck that it becomes very hard for our opponent to deal with. Okay, next up is Purple Katakuri. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. Okay, here we go. Looks like I shipped that hand back. I guess I didn't want that, whatever it was. And we're going to go ahead. And other than that, though, we've got a pretty good hand. We would prefer to get the 1-cost Bonnie Searcher or the 1-cost Luffy Searcher early on. So all things considered, this is actually a terrible hand. This is one of the worst hands we can get with this deck. Not to say I shouldn't even say it's terrible, but compared to what we could have gotten, it's much worse. It's not one of our best pulls. Okay, but because the cost is so low in this deck, we're getting a lot of 3-cost cards we can play out as well. Right here, see, here's the part. Pause. Let's talk about it. This is why the 2-cost spot is actually very important for this deck with the 4 caramels and the 4 beige. Because if we had played out a 2-cost card right here, on our 4 Dawn turn, we could have played out Jewelry Bonnie to set our top life card, and then with the remaining 1 Dawn, pull back one of the cards from our board because we'd have 5 Dawns worth, 5 costs worth of characters on the board. We could pull that back and then play out a card from our life. You see what's going on? The 2-cost spot is very important, guys. It's very, very important in this deck. Okay, we're going to play out the Bonnie still. We get the Cavendish. We can't play out the Cavendish because we only have 4 Dawn or 4 costs worth of characters on the board. We're going to pass back, and it's their turn. What do you do? Hey, it happens, right? It does happen. I think Hiyori could be a very good card in the deck as well, looking forward. I'll have to mess around with that idea. I actually like that better than the Scratchman Apu tech that we saw from the deck from the East. But they're both very good. Scratchman Apu is very good as well. Okay, they play out the Parasparrow. They're going to start cycling through their hand very effectively now with that card on the board and replacing their Dawn. Very solid. Okay, here we go. We're going to draw a card for the turn. We're up to 6 Dawn. We desperately need to get this card on the board. We're going to probably pull back the beige here. Yep, playing out the Cavendish. We have 4 Dawn to work with now, and let's see what we choose to do with it. Okay, 4 Dawn. I think we probably might just swing all out. As crazy as that sounds, maybe swing for 6, swing for 7. We might swing with the Bonnie. Yeah, sure. Super aggressive here. If they want to attack into my blocker... Okay, I mean, it is a blocker after all, right? We just didn't have any other better play we could that we could pull off there with only 4 Dawn. Again, not having the 2-cost card in this situation really set us back a little bit, I think, like at least in my personal opinion. Okay, they reveal our top card for us. We appreciate that. It's a Cavendish. And now we can kind of play around that if we need to. They're going to swing it for 7. We're going to take it. And guys, we're about to be on our 8 Dawn turn. Well, 8 Dawn with a 7-cost Trafalgar Law in hand. We're going to be able to do some pretty crazy things right here, guys. We're going to be able to do some pretty crazy things. They're going to play out another pudding. Okay, they've got a lot of searching power going on over there. And here we go. Let's see what we choose to do here. We're going to play out the Trafalgar Law first. Yep. We will probably put a Bonnie. Okay, I like the Bonnie here. That's going to be able to lock down the Parasparrow. We're going to swing in for 6. This is going to cost them a 2K counter, or use their leader effect in 1K counter. That's another possibility. They give us a 2K. I like that. And we don't have any blocker follow-up. That does not feel good. Let's see what we choose to do here. We're going to play out the... we have to pull a card back in order to do the effect, and I didn't want to play out the other card. So that was all that was going on there. We had a little bit of a missequencing there, because I would have liked to see what my bottom card was in case it was a blocker. But we could talk about that later, if I remember. All right, we're going to swing it for 8 here. They take it. Or, excuse me, they counter out of it, I'm saying, and they're able to completely eat that attack up. And now we have a sideways Cavendish on the board. We have some counter power in hand. We have 2, 4, 6, 7K counter in hand, but we don't have any blockers. It will be very hard to protect that Cavendish. They're going to start off with an 8K attack into it. That's very nice. We are going to save it once because it's a 6K body versus a 5K body. It'll be easier for us to protect it. Oh, but look at this, guys. Hang on. It looks like they want to do a 9 Dawn play here, maybe with the 9-cost Lin, but they can't remove... wait, hang on. Can they remove Cavendish? I'm trying to think of how Tashigi's worded. I think Tashigi can save it from any kind of effect. Okay, they're going to swing in for 6 and a 6. We're not going to let them have that, obviously. Give them a restand Law. And here we go. That ended up working out pretty well for us. And now our board is disgusting. I'll have to read Tashigi in a minute. I think it can save from any removal just like the 2-cost Bege can. Okay, here we go. They're just doing a lot of searching right now. We're just waiting for them to finish out their turn. They're trying to figure out how they want to do this. Okay, seems good. They did a bunch of cycling with the 2 Charlotte pair of Sparrows there. They've got a double Katakuri on the board now. Goodness gracious. This is not good, guys. This is not good. They stand up their entire board. And this actually looks pretty rough, doesn't it? They have 2 massive blockers on the board. But we do have a pretty decent board of our own here and a lot of attacks coming through. How are we going to pull this off, guys? How are we going to pull this off? Honestly, I'm just, looking backwards. I think I should play out another Trafalgar Law. Look, I'm doing some math right now. You see my mouse going crazy. I'm going, wait, this there, that there, this everywhere. We've got some pretty crazy stuff we can do here. Okay, we're going to swing for 7 with the Tashigi. We're going to swing for 7 with Tashigi. That will force a block from their Katakuri. We're going to pull that card back. We're now going to swing for 7 more with Cavendish. Guys, this is not over. This is not over. Now we're going to swing for 7 more here with the whatever her name is, the Bonnie. Okay. They're able to counter out of that. They counter out very aggressively, but watch this. We've still got 3 more attacks, guys. We're going to restand the Cavendish. We're going to swing it for 7. This will go through, okay? And then we're going to swing for 8. I'm hoping for the best here. Hopefully they don't have an extra card there, and I'm swinging for 10. So GG to my opponent. That is what this deck can do. Looking back at this turn, how vulnerable did my opponent look? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 relevant attacks on the board, right? 4 known attacks. And then I guess Tashigi could have been an attack, and it was. But here's the thing. We had 4 attacks in the mind of my opponent. So, okay, they've got double block or double life. There's no way they lose. That ended up being about, what, 5. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It ended up being 6 attacks, just enough to get through. So good game to my opponent. That was a rough one, but hey, the deck can be very, very explosive. All right, we got one more game from OP11, and then we're going to check out a game versus Blackbeard and then Green-Purple Luffy. Okay, volume is off. Speed is on 2x. I am a big fan of the Jinbe deck, and hey, this is like a green versus green type of matchup where there's a lot of resting and lockdown shenanigans going on. So we'll see if we can we'll see how this deck can compete. They're playing out a Tashigi of their own. It's just that good of a card, guys. That 2K counter is incredible. So here we go. We're going to play out the Bonnie. Okay, pause. Notice the difference. Going second, playing out a 2-cost character on turn 1. First of all, it's Karma. It draws us a card. So it replaces itself immediately and fills up the cost on the board. Then on our 4-Dawn turn, playing out the Jory Bonnie, setting our top life card, and then pulling back the Karma to our hand with a Leer effect, playing out that top life card, and now we've got some major, major tempo on the board. Okay, and we lock down their Dawn. They're only going to have 4 Dawn to work with this next turn as well, just like how we just did going first, or going second. They were supposed to have 5 Dawn here. Okay, they do rest down my Jory Bonnie. Unfortunately, hey, it happens. That's okay. They're going to go 5 into 4, though. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. No, I'm not going to let you have that. We're not going to let you just have it for 4. Now, they do go 4 more into it. I'm going to give them a 1K counter, guys. I'm actually going to protect my board here because I have a... okay, now things are going to get out of hand, right? And that was the whole idea there. If I can keep this blocker, I can keep aggressively taking cards from my life. Okay, let's see what's on top of my life real quick. I was hoping to find a 1-cost Bege there. Didn't find it. We go 6 into 4. He lets it go. Practice your sequencing, guys. Did you see what we just did there? We just did a blind rip off the top. We didn't care if we hit or not. If we hit something, it was just going to help us out. But we were just trying to see what was on top of our life and then, pull back our searcher to do another search. It ended up being a restand Law. Now we're going to get to attack in a second time with our Jory Bonnie, and things just got out of hand. Ultimately, things just really got out of hand. We might not even attack with it. We'll have to see what happens. Say, look, I'm really trying to decide, do I really want to attack with this card or not? We attack in, they give me a 2K counter, we swing it for 6 more, we play out the searcher, and now our board's insane. We're going into turn 4 for them. So remember, they went first. That was our 6 Dawn, that was our turn 3, our 6 Dawn turn, and we did all those shenanigans. They're going into their 7 Dawn turn 4. They play out Vanderdeck, and they're going to have to trash a Fishman card if they want to pop the Bonnie. That's fine. We don't really, Bonnie did her job, right? Bonnie did her job. They're going to swing in for 7 here. We're going to take our last life card here. They're going to swing for 8. We'll give them a blocker, but here's the bad news for this guy. We're about to be on an 8 Dawn turn. They do stand a Dawn up there. Very nice with the leader effect. We are going to... We really should have waited. We really should have waited there, guys, to do that effect. just in case they have a way to tap down our blocker. That was a bit reckless, but I think we're going to be fine. Okay, we're going to swing in for 6. Now we can pull back the Luffy. Yeah, I was really scared about him being able to rest down my character there, but we did have a lot of counter power in hand, and their board's not exactly massive. They would have only gotten 2 big attacks into it, and we could have gotten out of both. But still, that just to practice proper sequencing, that was not correct. Playing out the Eustace Kid was correct. Okay, they're going to play out Trafalgar Law. They're going to pop. Okay, they're going to pop our Eustace Kid. But watch this, guys. Did y'all see what just happened? Hang on. We have Capone Bege on the board. We have a Capone Gang Bege on the board that says if one of your Supernova type cards would be removed, instead it goes to the top of our life. So watch this. Okay, I mean, this is still a good ability they're using here, but we just gained a life. We can block out of one attack, take the other, and then we're going to get the Eustace Kid right back this turn. They swing 6 into... no, we're not going to let them have Cavendish. That's good game. Yeah, they needed to swing like maybe 6 and then 8 into Cavendish. I was going to get out of both from hand if I needed, or block out with the Bege because we have another one in hand. Bad news for our opponent. But guys, there you go. That Capone Bege is nasty. That card is very strong. Okay, now we got a game versus Blackbeard. Some people might be thinking like, yeah, well, how does this deck do into Blackbeard? Because that's going to be a pretty, strong deck going forward. So here we go. We're going first as well, and I think we'd much rather go second. Remember that, guys. We're going first. We're going to play out the Luffy. We're going to fix our hand. Going first does have its advantages. We get to attack more aggressively, but okay, they just played out a Doc Q and just completely negated our turn and took away our best searcher. We're going to play out a Bonnie, setting our top life card to a Cavendish, and we're going to be able to go from here. They're going to swing for 5. I think I need to just... I might just want to take this. Guys, there's an idea to just take this because they can turn off our on-play effects. They're going to get rid of our Jory Bonnie there, and let's see if they decide to trash a card. They do, so now we don't get our on-play effect. Our board's gone, by the way. We can't even use our leader effect to cheat this card into play. Okay, so we get a Eustace Kid from that Bonnie search. That's nice. That's very nice. We're going to swing for 5, and we're going to probably play out a Tashigi here, believe it or not. Tashigi is going to make our board safe for later. Yep, so now they have to deal with Tashigi before they deal with our future Cavendishes or whatever. They're going to swing for 7. We'll take that. We're not going to get to do anything too crazy here. They play out a Burgess of their own. They trash a card, locking down our effect. I think that was 2 Ice Ages we've seen now from them trashing with leader effect. We're going to swing for 5. They take it. We're going to play out the Cavendish. We're going to play out the Bege. And now we have a lot of protection cards on our board. We have a lot of really good stuff to protect our board with now. Okay, they're on their 8 Dawn turn. Remember, next turn, they're going to be on 10 Dawn. So things do get scary. We do need to... Okay, hang on. They're going to swing for 7. I think we should take this. Guys, we are setting up to play out a Eustace Kid. So we're going to very, very aggressively take life here. They play out Kuzan. They play out the new Caribou blocker. Seems good. Okay, we are going to play out... We want to play out a Eustace Kid here. That's why we were taking life so aggressively. But remember what the 10-cost Blackbeard does. Remember what Blackbeard does. We're going to swing 6 into 6. Let's see if he chooses to save it. Okay. They do choose to save it with that hit. Now we're going to swing. I think we're going to have to swing for 6 more. We're going to do a top search real quick to see what we can get. No 2K counters is unfortunate, but we do find a blocker. We're going to pull this card back. Oh, very nice. It's actually a blocker on top of our life. Now we know that. That's not great, but hey, it's better than nothing. We play out the Bartolomeo. We're going to swing 6 into 6. They counter out, and now it's their turn. Again, let's not forget what the 10-cost Blackbeard does. He plays that out. He makes it where our character's effect is nullified, and now they're going to swing 5 at face. Well, we're going to give him a 1K for that. They're going to get rid of that Kuzan to fill out another card on their board from their trash, probably another Burgess or the Shiryu card. That's fine. They're going to swing for 5 more. We really should counter out of this one, and then we can take the 6K hit from the Burgess if they choose to turn it sideways. Now, okay, or 7. We'll take it. Okay, now watch this. Pause. We have to talk about something very quickly here. My Eustace Captain Kid cannot attack this turn. He also cannot even activate his effect because of Marshall D. Teach's effect, the 10 cost. So guys, my leader effect, excuse me, my on-play effects are gone. I can't use those anymore. My Eustace Kid is completely worthless. I can't rest him. I can't attack with him. I cannot do anything with him. But, let me say this, I can still use my leader effect. I just can't use on-play effects. So watch how this turn goes, guys. Let's see who, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in this situation? We can't gain a life with our Trafalgar Law. So I do end up making one small mistake here. I'm like, okay, I should not attach a Dawn to this character. And I even try to click it to like rest it down. I'm like, oh wait, it completely turns off that effect as well. So we do mess up there for 1 Dawn, but that's okay because of how Cavendish is. It's going to be fine. But watch what we end up doing here, guys. Watch what we end up doing. We're going to swing 5 with TCG. Okay. Now we're probably going to pull a character back here. And see, that's what I was saying. I shouldn't have put the extra Dawn on the Eustace Kid. That was the one thing that I really messed up here. But watch what we do. Watch what we do here, guys. If I had not put the extra Dawn on him, I could have done things very differently. We pull back the Eustace Kid. Now, because I wasted that Dawn on him, I can't exactly do everything I want to this turn. But that's okay. We have other options. We have a blocker here. We're going to play out the Bonnie. Okay, we're going to play out the Bonnie here. We're going to swing in with the Cavendish. Let's see, we might want to swing in for 7 here. Actually, we're going to swing in for 6 real quick with our leader. Let's see if they want to take this. They use the blocker there. I can no longer swing into the blocker to get rid of it. The teach. We're going to swing for 7 here. Standing a Dawn is active. And they're going to block with the Caribou. And we're going to play out this Bonnie to do some searching. We search up another blocker. We're going to trash that. So nice. The Bartolomeo there, we got to draw a card, trash a card. We trash the 7, cost 9k Law. We don't need that anymore. We play out another Bonnie. Okay. And now we have, okay, so we have 3 blockers. And then best of luck, right? Best of luck to me kind of thing. What are they going to do, though? They have to attack. They must. So they simply must attack. And I'm going to save as many blockers as I possibly can because we're going to be able to swing very wide with this here. So they get rid of the Bege. They have to get rid of Bege. They don't have a choice, remember, or else we gain life. They're going to play out Lafitte. They're going to do a search. They get a Hachinosa. They're gonna use another Lafitte here. They're trying to. I don't know what they're searching for. Maybe 2K counters. I have no idea, to be honest with you. But if they turn that Marshall D Teach sideways, the game is over, right? If they turn that Marshall D Teach sideways, the game is over. Okay, they can have the 1K. We don't care about the Bonnie. Let's see what they do here. They're going to swing for 5. We're obviously going to counter out of that. That's a no-brainer. Watch me take it. I've been wrong before. Okay, they're going to swing in for 8. Uh-oh. Hang on. I'm doing the math right here. I'm out of that, and now you only have 1 blocker. Now you only have 1 blocker, and I have 4 attacks coming through. Guys. So they do trash a card to get rid of our on-play effects. Okay, well, I'm all in. Okay, so I'm all in here. We're going to swing 7, 7, 7, 7. That's the course of, that's where we're at right now. Okay, swinging 6 here is probably a little bit greedy, but we might do it. Yeah, swinging for 7 makes way more sense. We're going to attach a Dawn to the leader. We're going to pull that card back to return the 3 rested Dawn. Now we get to swing in with our Cavendish and try to cash in on it that way. Let's see what happens here. I have to do a little bit of math here. We're going to swing for 7. This will take both cards from my opponent's hand if he has it, but then he probably... Oh, okay, well, that's probably game then, right? We're going to swing for 7. Whoops, it should have been 8. So that was a slight miscalculation. It should have been swing for 8 and then 9. So, hey, it is what it is. And GG to my opponent. That was a close game. We had a few mess-ups there, but bear with me. I'm still learning the deck. I've only been playing it now for about 1 month, and it's a very intricate deck, and we don't even have the perfect deck list for it just yet. But it kind of showed what this deck can do. And that was going first. That was going first into Blackbeard. I would have much preferred going second. But hey, good game to my opponent. That was a tough one. We had a few play mistakes I do want to go over real quick. The first one is right here. So, right here, I should not have attached a Dawn to my leader. I should have attached a Dawn to my Tashigi, attack in for 5, okay? Actually, maybe not even do that. Hear me out. What I could have also done is just pull, with my leader, okay, attach a Dawn to my leader, pull back the Eustace Kid. Replay the Eustace Kid. Okay, literally replay the Eustace Kid. I have 9 Dawn remaining, right? In that situation, I have 1 Dawn on my leader, and don't put any Dawn on the Eustace Kid. Just pull it back with my leader effect. I don't get any cards for my life. All my life cards are gone. But replay the Eustace Kid for 8, and I have 1 Dawn left as active. I get to swing in with the Cavendish in that point for 8. Or for 6, excuse me. Just swing for 6. Just bare minimum numbers here. Just try to get through, right? Just try to get through. And then I get to cheat out. I could pull back a card. Well, I already did that. I already pulled back a card by leader effect, but I can replace a card on the board if I need to, with the Eustace Kid. But the main thing is I just need to replay him and attach 1 Dawn to him. So I could have done swing 6 with my leader, and I think, 7 with Cavendish, and then 7 with my leader, I believe is what I could have done there. I could have replayed out the Eustace Kid with the Dawn attached. I have 2 blockers Tashigi, I would have been completely fine there. And then he has to get through a massive attack next turn when I have a hand like that. That would have been the better play for sure. And then at the very end there, we had a slight miscalculation here. Swinging 7 was fine, but watch this. We pull back this card, and I think swinging 7 again was probably our best bet at winning the game, because we still could have blockered up after this. But watch this. We swing for 7, and I get the 2 Dawn back as active. I should have attached 4 Dawn, I believe. Yeah, it should have been 4 Dawn on the Bartolomeo and swing for 8. Notice he's swinging for 7. Attach 1 more Dawn to the Bartolomeo, swing for 8 there, and then swing for 9 with my leader. And I think that was my best chance of winning. But hey, we made a few slight play mistakes, but we're getting better. We're getting better. Good game to my opponent. That was a tough one. Now we got one more game against Green Purple Luffy before we finish out this video, finish this one off. Volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, we're going second, and we've got a decent pull. If we could get to a 3-cost Bonnie, it would be insane. We draw a card for the turn, it's not Bonnie. We draw another card with the Carmel, it's not Bonnie. We're probably going to take this first hit aggressively, hoping it's Bonnie, and it's not. Okay, well, it was Bonnie. Just kidding, it was Bonnie, but not the one we needed. But that's okay, we have other options here. We can play out a Carmel to draw a card, play out the Bege. That works as 3 Dawn, right? That ends up being 3 Dawn's worth of characters, and now we can pull back, or excuse me, well, 5 altogether, right? 2 for the Carmel, then 2 more for another Carmel, then 1 for the Bege. Now we can pull back the Bege, cheating out the top card of our life that we set there with the Bege, locking down one of their Dawn. They're going to be on 4 Dawn next turn. That means no pudding for them. No pudding for you, buddy. No pudding for you. Okay? Swing for 6. Your turn. Our hand's looking pretty good. We've got a lot of counter power. We've got a 7 cost. We've got a great 7-cost play coming up here on the, not next turn, but the next turn. And they only have 4 Dawn to work with. They're probably going to have to play out a 4-cost Zoro. Okay, let's see what they choose to do. They're going to swing for 5 first. I think we should counter out of this. We have, yeah, just counter out with a Luffy in that situation. They play out the Zoro. Very nice. They're going to do, they did a top search there. I think they were able to get another Going Merry. I'm not exactly sure. I kind of missed that. I was going too fast on the side. But here we go. I'm playing out Cavendish. I'm playing out Monkey D. Luffy. I'm grabbing a 2 blocker. I'm swinging in for 6. Guys, this is actually, do we swing in for 6? We'll swing in for 5. Then we'll swing in for 6, and then we're going to play out. I think we're going to, let's see what we choose to do here. We're going to play out the Bege right away. I'm saying, you know what? You're not getting my Cavendish. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to tell this guy, you're not getting my Cavendish. Now, he might be able to get my Jory Bonnie, but I'm not as upset about that. I've got 2 more in hand. I've got 2 more Jory Bonnies in hand, but that Cavendish isn't going anywhere. At least not if I can help it. At least not if I can help it. They're going to go 6 and a 6. Now they kind of messed up, though. They're going at face. Guys, they're playing with fire now. Okay, they're playing with fire. They're going to go ahead and play out another Going Merry. That's very annoying. We get a Carmel. We don't care about that. And here we go. I'm down to 0 life. I took both of those aggressively. You guys know I got something in store for this guy. You guys know I got something in store for him. We're gonna play out the 7-cost 9K Law. We're gonna set a card to the top of our life. We're gonna get to attack 6 and a 6 here. Let's see how many cards he wants to give me. We're not attacking in a life. We're getting cards out of hand. 6 and a 6 more. He said, okay, I'm not playing that game anymore. We're gonna go 6 in the face. We get 2 Dawn as active, and here we go. Okay, we're waiting for him to use his effect. I think our opponent has an effect. Okay, not sure what it was. Okay, it was no trigger. We're gonna pull back the 1-cost. We're gonna pull back the Luffy, and then we are not going to play out the top card of our life just in case they have 6-cost Luffy. In fact, I probably saw a search of Luffy with all these cards we're seeing. Guys, 6-cost 7K Luffy, the new one from EB02. It will steal games from you. Be very careful. Look at this. They've got double putting on the board now. They are filling out. They are using so much Dawn efficiency at this point. It's disgusting. It's actually It's like immoral or something at this point. It's totally unethical. It's disgusting. So here we go. Let's see what they're able to do with this. Okay, they've got that Demon Aura 9-sword style Asura Demon 9 flash, you know, as one does, and they rest down my blocker. Now they can go for the board. They're going to 5 and 1. Yeah, that card's gone. Uh-oh, not good. They were able to do that effect there, I think, because of the Going Merry effect on their searcher. They swing him for 6. We get, I think, hang on, guys. Hang on 1 second. The Demon Asura 9 flash, I think you have to tap down a 4-cost or more target in order to rest down one of their characters. And they were able to buff their Nami in order to do that. That's why they were even able to do all these crazy shenanigans. This is very well played by my opponent. So now they're going to swing for 6 and a 4 into my rested Bartolomeo. Seems good. They were able to rest that card down with Zoro. Now they're going 7 into face. I need to get out of this one. They played out the other pudding for the turn. We're going to take the last hit. That's why I did that, guys. That's why I played that defensively. You guys know I like to go fast in these decks. I like to attack. I like to take life very aggressively, but I've seen what this green-purple Luffy deck can do. I've seen it. We're going to go 10 into him here. We can't go for the board. We're about to just go everything at face. I probably shouldn't have swung with my biggest attack first. Oh, well, that was definitely a play mistake. All right, we're going in for 6. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do here. They're going to Gum Giant for a 6K attack. So that told me they have 0 counter power in hand. I mean 0, other than that one event. Now, they might have drawn more ever since that. We're going to swing for 9 into 6. That's going to go through. We're going to play out the restand law on the Bonnie. We're going to swing for 6. They're probably going to counter out of this. And then we're coming in for 11 into 6. Let's see what they had in their hand. They had another 2K counter. Very nice. That's all they had access to. Good game to my opponent. Guys, sometimes you have to go all out because we're not dealing with that board. Okay, who knows? Maybe in the future we need to try Electrical Luna in this list. Electrical Luna might actually be kind of good here, but we don't have that in the list. Even still, it wouldn't have helped because they have a 6-cost 7K Rush Luffy in hand, and they would have gone crazy with that on the board. Good game again to my opponent. That was a rough one. That was a really rough game. Green-purple Luffy is a nuisance, and they have the same green tricks that we have to rest stuff down or restand stuff or whatever. Well, I guess they have more of the rest down package. We have more of the stand-up package, but you guys get my point. Okay. Now, let's check out the deck list one more time. We got to talk about a few cards. So the Tashigi does say when one of your green characters other than Tashigi would be removed from play due to your opponent's effects, rest this character instead. So it can prevent any kind of removal in the same way that this Bege can, but the Bege, instead of resting for the effect, puts the card into our life. Very, very good stuff. Oh, I forgot to move my face. Sorry, guys. So here's that Tashigi. Pause and read this if you want to know what it does. And the Bege in the same way protects our character from being removed no matter what the effect is, and it goes to life instead. So we've got really good protection for our board with these two characters. And then the other one I wanted to see was that, let me just type in Aura. It was like Demon Aura. Okay, I clearly not, or Asura. It was like Asura. There it is. Okay. So it does say Demonic Aura, though. I wish that, I thought that was going to come up, but it didn't. So we've got Demonic Aura, 9-sword style, Asura, Demon, 9 flash. And notice what this says. Up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. Then you may rest one of your cost 3 or greater characters. And if you did, rest up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or less characters. They were able to buff up their 1-cost Searcher to a 3-cost character. I think I said 4 on accident. Now that it's like playing back in my mind, I think I said 4 on accident, but I meant to say 3. And they can rest down a 3-cost character to rest down one of my 5-cost or lower characters. That is wild. That was a really powerful effect, and the trigger can rest to 4 or less as well. Okay, good stuff there. But let me say, this list is starting to feel very refined. It's starting to feel very, very strong. Some other cards we still have to consider. Let me just bring up Supernova for green and yellow. Remember, the deck we were looking at earlier was running Scratchman Apu. This was pretty cool. This was a pretty good card. Another card coming out in EB02 when Green-Purple Luffy comes out. It won't be out in OP10, but in like OP10.5 or 10.7, whatever they're calling it. Jewelry Body comes out in EB02. It's a 7-cost, 7K, 1K counter, Supernova character, obviously, and it has on play up to one of your opponent's rested characters will not become active during your opponent's next refresh phase. And then at the end of your turn, set up to one of your Dawn cards as active. This is a card we need to really keep our eye on. The Scratchman Apu, Jewelry Bonnie here, the 7-cost, and then there's also a Hiyori that we need to really consider as well. I butchered that. There we go. So Hiyori here, this is a 2-cost, 0-power, 2K counter. It's not searchable in our deck, but it is another great 2-cost option to run in the deck. It allows us to set our top life card, and it's a 2-cost. It's a 2-drop. Let me say this right now, the direction I'm leaning with this list is I probably will actually swap in 2 Hiyori for maybe 2 Tashigi. I really like the Tashigi. Some people might think that's crazy. Maybe I'll finally take out these 2 Bartolomeos. I've been having a lot of success with this card, but I want to have 10 2 drops in the deck. Like not 1 drops, like not 2 drops and lower, 10 2 drops. So I have a higher chance of seeing a 2-cost card going second, and it's still a 2K counter. And like I said, if I do remove the Bartolomeo, then I end up having 12 2K counters, which I do like that quite a bit. In fact, maybe we'll have to see. I've got a lot of thinking to do because I do like the Tashigi, but typically speaking, I don't want to play this card out right away like I had to in some of the games we saw in the matchups today. But you got to do what you got to do. And the other thing to consider is if we take this card, if we take out these 2 Bartolomeos for 2 Hiyoris, well, now all of a sudden our ratios do go down a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, this deck is probably like 90%. Let's see, so 4, 8, yeah, so 42 cards in this deck are Supernova. So if we take 2 more out, like these 2 Bartolomeos, we still will have 40 cards in the deck that are Supernova. The likelihood of us whiffing one of these Luffy searches or one of these Jory Bonnie searches is slim to none. It can happen. Anything's possible, right? But it's very, very slim at that point. But other than that, I mean, the deck is running very well. There was one other card that I think I really wanted to try out. I can't think of it off the top of my head now. I must have forgotten it. Goodness gracious. I hate when that happens. I have so many thoughts in my head that I want to do. Oh, an event. There's an event that we need to consider now. Let me just type in Supernova because it is a Supernova event. And it's coming out in OP11. Okay, it's not out yet, but it comes out in OP11. This Gum Gum Elephant Gatling. This is a Supernova event. It comes out in OP11. 1 cost. It has main. Okay, let me say the count. This is the 1 cost 3K counter, one of the new utility 3Ks. It's a 1-cost 3K counter for our leader. It only can apply to our leader. So that part is a little bit of a knock against it. However, it's still not bad because listen to what else it does. It also has activate main, rest 1 of your Dawn cards, and rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So it ends up being a 2-cost rest of 5 or less. I don't know if we necessarily need that for what we're trying to do with the deck. And in fact, for 2 Dawn, I would almost rather just run the Straw Sword because this is Supernova searchable as well. And this can rest any character. It can just rest down any character. This is a very high utility card. It's a very, very strong card in any deck, in any green deck. Especially playing against something like, Blackbeard. Just rest down his 10-cost Marshall D. Teach and just flood the board on him. Just blast through him. That's an option there. But yeah, that's it, guys. I think that's about it for today's deck list. I don't have too much more to add. I do think there's probably some idea, this killer card is probably something we can mess around with. It's another searcher. If your leader is the Supernova type, this is an on-KO searcher. If your leader has the Supernovas type, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Supernova or Kid Pirates type card and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. I'm not really sold on this card. It is a great 3-drop, though, for us in the deck. The 3 cost is another important spot, but the number 1 3-drop we want to see is actually Jory Bonnie. This is the number 1 3-drop we want to see in the deck, and I think it's very good for what we're trying to do. So something to, for sure, consider there. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. I mean, I guess, like I said, Basil Hawkins is a consideration. This Zoro... This Jory Bonnie is kind of interesting. So this is a promo. I'm going to read this real quick. It's a 5-cost 6K, 1K counter. On play, if your leader's Supernova type and your life total is equal to or less than your opponent's, place up to 1 of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters on the top or bottom of their life cards face up. It does help us get the board back, but I don't think that's really necessary. I don't think we really need this. And I think that's it, guys. I mean, that's really all that was on my mind for what I wanted to show you all today for the updates to the list. Like I said, for the time being, we don't have Capone Beige in the West, and we won't have this until OP11 comes out. So for the time being, I do think we have a decent replacement. I'm not saying it's as good, but it is at least a decent replacement in the 2-cost Rosinante, this card right here. It's not Supernova searchable, and it does not do the exact same thing as Beige, but it does really help us protect our Eustace Captain Kidd from KO removal, and it's still a 2-cost blocker, just like just like Capone Beige is. Capone Gang Beige is. But the thing is, he's not searchable, like I said, and he only prevents KO of rested characters. That's where this card really hurts. So in other words, if we play out a Cavendish and then play out a Don Quixote Rosinante, we actually can't protect our Cavendish on that turn with the Rosinante because he's not rested. It says if one of your other rested characters would be KO'd, instead trash this character. So I will say this, who knows, maybe that opens up an idea for You Can Be My Samurai. in the list. Kind of wonky. I'm not saying it's a good idea, but there's two applications where that would be kind of decent for the time being. If we do have to remove the Bege for for the time being, like I said, removing Bege for the Rosinante. Okay, if we could find a way to fit in like 2 or 3, You Can Be My Samurai against Blackbeard. So remember, guys, this is an effect that allows you to rest 2 of your characters to draw 2 cards. So let me hopefully the Marshall D. Teach translation is good enough on here. I think it is, yeah. Activate main once per turn if your leader has the type Blackbeard Pirates, and if this character was played this turn, up to 1 of your opponent's leader effects are negated to the rest of the turn. Then up to 1 of your opponent's character's effects are negated until the end of your opponent's next turn, and that character also cannot attack. So the reason I couldn't rest this character is not because the character can't rest from other effects, it's because I can't rest him with the activate main because my effects were negated for the turn, and I couldn't attack either, so I couldn't turn him sideways. However, if we go back to that the samurai example, You Can Be My Samurai, I could technically rest him for 1 Dawn with this and another target. I could rest two different characters with this effect here, and then draw 2 cards. Now he's rested, and I can attach a Dawn to him, and he's back to blocking. So there is some tech, there is some utility there, especially since we are going to need to run the Rosinante for the time being. And at the same time, playing out the Cavendish and the Rosinante, I can rest down the Cavendish immediately to draw 2 cards with You Can Be My Samurai. So maybe there's something cheeky fun to pull off for right now in the West, but I don't recommend it. I'm just saying it's an idea. It's not a great idea, it's just an idea. But I'll say this, guys, as soon as we get access to Capone Bege here, I think Green Yellow Law is looking pretty strong, looking pretty good. Still a very technical deck. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about this in the comments section below. Let's be nice, but tell us how things are going for you. Is there a card you're using you're having a lot of success with? What did you guys think about today's list? How are you feeling about Green Yellow Law? What are some really tough matchups you're having that I could try to focus on in the next video, the next update video for Green Yellow Law? All right, that's it, guys. I'm done. Please do not forget to stop by hang on, let me get out the outro page here. Please do not forget to stop by the stream tonight if you get bored, if you have a chance. Come hang out with us on there. We're always goofing off, having a good time, talking about One Piece and all kinds of crazy stuff. Also, please don't forget to stop by the Discord if you're not on there already. Link is in the channel description. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything. I'm sure I've forgotten something. You guys know how it goes. I'll finish this video, and I'll be like, oh, this is what I forgot to tell them. But whatever the case is, guys, yeah. If you're supporting me in any way, shape, or form, guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG affiliate link. Now I remember what I was going to say. Hang on, before I finish that outro, now I remember what I was going to say. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a purple-yellow pudding video, okay? So be looking forward to that. Purple-yellow pudding is a lot of fun, and we're going to be seeing how it does in OP11, okay, with some new cards and whatnot. Okay, now we can do the intro. Sorry about that, guys. I knew I was forgetting something I really wanted to share with y'all. All right, so guys, if you're supporting me in any way, shape, or form, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG affiliate link, whatever you're doing to help me out, I really, really appreciate it, guys. Or if you're supporting me through Patreon, PayPal, donations, buying the playmat, becoming a member on YouTube, that helps me out big time too. Or becoming a part of the community on Discord, all that stuff, it really helps me out, helps the channel grow, and all that good stuff helps out the community. Okay? All right. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to put those in the comment section below. And yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.